Have you ever wondered what would happen if wolves came back one day with no one to stop them? Wolves that weren't afraid of lions. They fed on mammoths and were last seen thousands of years ago, deep in the ice. They really existed. They were called direwolves. And now, if true, news has been released that will shake the world. Scientists are trying to bring these giant creatures back to Earth. With the help of their fossils, DNA remains, and advanced genetic technologies. In this video, we're going to enter the world of these prehistoric wolves together, find out how they lived, how they became extinct, and most importantly, is it really possible for them to come back? If you want to know what's behind this crazy project, stay with us until the end of this video. Direwolf, a strange name for a creature more ferocious than anything you've ever seen. This prehistoric wolf was not something you'd want to encounter on a dark night. If you think modern wolves are scary, you should know that the direwolf was twice as big, hairier, stronger, and more ruthless than them. Its body was full of muscles. Its jaws were designed to crush bone. In the Ice Age, on the frozen plains of North America, it was an unrivaled hunter. It didn't hunt alone. They moved in packs. They were smart. They had a plan. They killed and divided. What were their prey? Young mammoths, prehistoric horses, bison, and even saber-toothed tigers that made mistakes. Direwolves ruled the plains for a time. But with the end of the Ice Age, their prey dwindled, the weather warmed, and eventually, these ice giants disappeared from the face of the earth, one by one, not because they were weak, but because conditions were no longer suitable for them. But now, after thousands of years, their names are being heard again. It seems they are not going to be forgotten forever. If you happen to see a regular wolf in the middle of a dark forest one day, you're not that lucky. Because if you were to go back in time and encounter a direwolf, your chances of survival are almost zero. This creature was no ordinary wolf. It was a true hunting machine. A body twice as heavy as a modern gray wolf, jaws that could crush mammoth bones, and teeth designed only for killing, not leaving alive. The direwolf didn't hunt alone. They attacked in packs, precise and calculated. Once they had their prey in sight, there was no escape. Unlike modern wolves, direwolves showed no mercy even to their enemies. When they were hungry, they saw a saber-toothed tiger as their rival. Then the tiger was no longer an enemy. It was just a meal. But what made them truly dangerous was the combination of their ferocity and intelligence. This combination meant only one thing: to destroy everything that stood in their way. Now, you understand why they were called the terror of the Ice Age, because they didn't just hunt, they ruled. They were the kings of the frozen plains for years, with their gigantic bodies, deadly jaws, and strategies that left no prey alive. But with all this power and intelligence, the direwolves one day disappeared forever. What happened? What could wipe out such a huge predator from the face of the earth? The first suspect is drastic climate change. With the end of the Ice Age, large prey disappeared one by one, and the direwolf, with its massive body, could not adapt quickly to smaller prey. The second possibility is competition with gray wolves. Today's wolves entered the Americas from Asia, lighter, faster, and most importantly, smarter at adapting. When resources became scarce, those who were more frugal and flexible survived. And the last secret, perhaps the most bitter, the presence of humans, new hunters who killed both prey and competitors. The direwolves entered into a war, not only with nature, but also with us. A war that, in the end, They were the losers. Now all that remains of them are fossils. And an unanswered question. If they were to return to this world once more, would they win this time or lose again? Everyone called it the giant wolf. But were they really that big? Were the direwolves just a bigger version of today's wolves? Or something completely different that only their appearance fooled us? Let's take a look at the reality. In appearance, they looked a lot like grey wolves. A shaggy body, a long snout, sharp teeth. But DNA says something else. When scientists examined the genes left in the fossils, they came to a strange conclusion. Direwolves were not wolves at all. They were from a completely different branch of the canine family, which split off from wolves millions of years ago. They were not only genetically different, but even their lifestyles were different. Direwolves were more like creatures between dogs, wolves, and even hyenas, powerful, social, and much more ferocious than any modern wolf. In fact, if one of them were alive today, it would look nothing like the wolves we know in the wild, and we would probably call it an unknown species. So the next time someone says the dire wolf is the same as the wolf today, tell them, no, my friend, it was something else, something really different. Until a while ago, everyone thought that the wolves would disappear forever. There was no way to return them. But now, a crazy project is proving the opposite. Scientists have succeeded in extracting parts of the DNA of this giant predator from the frozen fossils of the wolves, and that means a big step towards reviving them. A project called Recreation of Direwolf is currently underway in some of the world's largest laboratories. They are trying to make a live copy of Direwolf by combining the obtained genes with the DNA of today's wolves. But there is a big question in the middle. If they succeed, will a real wolf be born, or just an incomplete version that only uses its name? Now, not everything is just science. They are very worried. What will happen if this creature comes to life? The creature that was the king of hunting thousands of years ago is now going to set foot on the earth again. But today, the earth has changed a lot, and then reviving them must make a basic idea to keep them. This is not just a scientific project. This is a game with history and nature, and maybe in a few years, the image of this legendary hunter will be seen again in the snow of the mountains, but this time, not in the fossils, but in the real world. Imagine waking up one morning and reading on the news, the first dire wolf in 10,000 years has been reborn. The howl that echoes through the snowy mountains is no longer the sound of an ordinary wolf. It's a dire wolf, bigger, stronger, more ferocious than any wolf you've ever seen. But now the question is, what if it really comes back? Dire wolves were pack hunters. They were smart, fast, and ruthless. And if they come back to life, they might move in large packs, just like they did in the past, but not in the Ice Age. In today's world, what if they get out of control? What if they enter urban areas? What if they can't find food and get close to humans? Some scientists say, we just want to study the past, but the past should not be left in today's world. The return of the dire wolves may be the beginning of a chapter that no one is yet prepared for, because when the dire wolves return, the world has changed for them, and the main question is, can our world cope with them again, or is this an irreparable mistake? We think we know the dire wolves, but the truth is that they are still full of mysteries. A creature that went extinct thousands of years ago still leaves behind many unanswered questions. For example, no one knows exactly how intelligent dire wolves were. Did they hunt in packs like modern wolves, or did they have a different and mysterious strategy that we have not yet been able to discover? Another mystery is their voice. We have no sound from direwolves. We do not know what their howls were like. Was it scarier than the howls of modern wolves? Or maybe even completely different? Even their exact appearance is a mystery. Scientists still disagree on what color their fur was or what their eyes looked like. And that means the image we have of them in our minds may be just a guess. And one of the strangest mysteries is, are they really extinct? Or could one of them still be alive in a remote part of the world? All it takes is one footprint to change the whole story. Direwolves are a great unsolved mystery in the prehistoric world, and each new fossil may open a new door to their dark and unknown world. If you woke up one morning and saw a real direwolf standing in front of your house, how would you feel? Fear, excitement, or some kind of confusion? Because it might actually happen much sooner than you think. Scientists have been searching for extinct animals to return for a long time. And now, direwolf DNA has been found, almost intact and ready to be recovered. But here's an important question. Should we do it? On the one hand, we could see one of the most powerful carnivores of the Ice Age again. A fantastic scientific opportunity to better understand evolution, genetics, and past ecosystems. But on the other hand, we also have to think about ethics. If we bring them back, where will they live? What will they eat? Will they become dangerous? And if humans cause their extinction, do we really have the right to play with them again? The return of the direwolves is not just a science project. It's a profound question about the future of nature, humans, and the boundary between science and morality. What do you think? Are you willing to live with them? Or would you rather they just remain in history? Well, until a few minutes ago, the direwolf was just a name, a mythical creature in archaeology books or in Ice Age tales. But now, you and I, together, have been able to take a journey among sharp teeth, claw marks, and mysteries that still remain unsolved after thousands of years.